A very good afternoon to all my dear students. I, Professor Shauresha, welcome all of you to the lecture of Advanced Accounting and Auditing Paper 1 SYBCom Semester 3. I suppose every student is in good health. So dear students, in the last lecture, we completed the theory part of your materials chapter. We also saw various kinds of formulas related to your maximum level, minimum level, reorder level, economic order quantity. Then we saw safety level and danger level, right? So I hope every student is clear with the formulas which we had studied in the last lecture. So today, as I have already given you the sums in advance, we will be completing the sums of university last 2 years paper that is related to your material chapter. Fine. But before that, I suppose everyone must have understood the formulas and should have a list of formulas with you when we start with the sum. Fine. So the very first sum which I have given to you students is of VNSGU 2018 paper, right? That is related to your economic order quantity, right? So we'll be quickly starting with the sum. I suppose everyone remember the formula also. Fine. So what is the sum, dear students? You can see the sum which you are having. Find out the economic order quantity and the number of orders to be placed during the year and the time period between the two orders, right? So you have been asked three things, dear students. The number, that is find out the economic order quantity. Then you need to find out the number of times the order should be made, and the third thing is you have to find out the time duration between the two, right? So I suppose it is clear to each and everyone. Fine. So we will be starting, students, with the first sum, that is economic order quantity. First of all, you have to write down the formula for economic order quantity. What is it all about? So write down. We will be finding the first sum which we are solving, that is EOQ. So EOQ, as I told you, it is under root 2AO upon C. Now dear students, I told you that when the percentage and the price both are given in the sum, right? So when percentage and price both are given, your formula will slightly change. Fine. So what will be the change in the formula, students? The change in the formula will be 2AO upon C into P, right? So 2AO upon C into P will be my change in formula, because here in this sum the percentage and the price per unit is also given. Fine. So we'll be quickly starting with that part. What is the things under root 2 remains the same. Now dear students, what does A stands for? A stands for the annual consumption. Now we'll be quickly going through the sum first. What has been given in the sum? 3 months consumption is rupees 4500. Kindly note, students, here it is 3 months consumption, and what we are calculating, annual consumption. So 3 months I have to convert it into annual consumption, right? So annual consumption will be my, again, 3 into 4 months. So I can say 4500 into 4. If I say, that is 4500 into 4 will give me the annual consumption of 18,000 units. This you can do it in your, again, notes after your sum is completed. So 18,000 units, what I'll do is 2 into 18,000, right? We'll be going very slow as it is the very first lecture for your practical sums. Each and every concept, if you understand it, every sum is similar to the sums which we are doing today on the basis of formula only, right? So what I have done is 2 into annual consumption, that I have found out 18,000, into O. What is your O? O is your cost of placing an order, that is given in the sum rupees 147. So I will multiply 147. All this will be under your square root only, students. Then divided by, you have C into P. As I told you, what is C? That is price per unit, right? So price per unit, you can see in the sum, it is 10 rupees. Price per unit is 10 rupees, right? And what is the percentage annual rate of interest and annual insurance expenses? So both are to be taken, right? Many students makes mistake that they take only one. Insurance they do not take. but add up both the thing, then it will be 12 percentage. So what I have got it, simply I know the formula, everything is given in the sum ready-made, you have to just put it in the formula. So EOQ is equals to under root 2AO upon CP. I have just calculated the annual consumption. So when I solve this, students, what I'll get is, after solving this, right, so solving the square root, I will get the final answer of 2100 units. You can solve it, multiply all these things, divided by your square root. So I'll get the answer of EOQ is equals to 2100 units. I suppose it is clear to each and everyone. So EOQ is equals to 2100 units. This is the first answer which I have found out, which is given in the sum. Now moving on, the second thing what they have asked is number of orders to be placed during the year, right? Now students, number of orders to be placed during the year. So what is the formula for that? Number of orders to be placed. Remember, it is for the year, right? So for the year means annual consumption. So what I'll do is, what is my total annual consumption, students? Total annual consumption is equals to 18,000, right? We just now found it out, 18,000 divided by your EOQ. What is EOQ? EOQ is 2100 units. So what I'll get is, if you divide 18,000 divided by 2100, I'll get the answer of 8.57. So whenever it is more than 0.5, just round it out to the approx 9 times. Because order cannot be in decimal, students, so round it off. If it was 8.5 then less, then we would have put it 8. So first find out EOQ. Second, number of orders. What does number of orders? How many times I have to place the order? So simply understand the logic. If 18,000 is my total consumption and if my economic order quantity is 2100, how many times? Then 18,000 divided by 2100 gives me 9 times. I suppose it is clear. This is our second answer which is asked in the sum. The third answer. The third answer is, what is the duration time period between two orders, right? So I will write down once again. Remember, in this costing subject, writing the formula also have marks, right? So if you miss to write down the formulas, your marks again will be reduced. Time period between two orders. Time period between two orders, right? So what is the time period? How can I find out? In the entire year, I am putting 9 orders, right? Is it clear? In the entire year, I am putting 9 orders. So entire year is of 365 days divided by 9 times. So what I'll get is answer 40 days. Answer I am getting is 40 days. I suppose it is clear to every student. So 40 days. Once I start my year on 1st January, suppose, so for after 40 days I need to put a order. Once I put the order, then for the second order I need to again wait for 40 days. Then 40 days goes on and on, right? So in an entire year, I am having the economic order quantity of 2100 units. The first answer. Second is the times which we have placing the order during the entire year, that is 9 times. The third is the time period between the order. So your year, that is days in a year divided by number of orders, right? So we'll get the answer of 40 days. I suppose it is clear to each and every student. Fine. So this is asked for 4 marks. All these 4 things, 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this, and 1 mark for this, and 1 mark is for your annual overall calculation and formulas. I suppose it is clear to each and every student. This was your first sum, students. Fine. Just complete it. Those who have not yet done it, you can go through the sum once again. Remembering the formula is very, very important in this chapter. Fine. Starting with the second sum, students. Second short sum which I have given you, that is also VNSGU 2018 only, right? Starting with that, again a easy sum. You must be remembering the concept of this. Starting with the second sum. What is the second sum all about? It is units of finished goods in a company are given below. Remember, it is for only 2 marks, students, right? Units of finished goods is given. What is mean given? Opening stock is 3000 rupees. Sales is 37,500, closing stock is 5,500. Okay, so I have been given opening stock, closing stock and sales. What is been also given? Units of raw material for this period. Opening stock is 5,000, closing stock is 7,000. Find out the unit produced of finished goods. Mind well students, they have asked only for units produced of finished goods. So when I am concerned with finished goods only, I do not need to take into consideration the raw material units, right? So how we will find it out? Just again we will be starting with the second question which is asked, right? So this will be our question number 2, VNSGU 2018. You also need to write down the questions, because once you solve them, then after the time of revision, it will be very difficult for you to find out the question also, right? So quickly write it down. Fine, we'll be starting. What is asked? They have said find out the production units, right? So how you will find out the production units? Simply, what I'll do is first write down closing stock. Closing stock of finished goods gives me 5,500 units, which is already there in the sum. Closing stock of 5,500 units plus I will do is sales. Sales, how many units? 37,500 units is my sales. So if I do the total of this, what is the total, students? It is 43,000 units, right? Total is 43,000 units. I suppose it is clear to everyone. Now from this I'll deduct opening stock of finished goods. So that is given in the sum, that is 3,000. So what I'll get is the final answer of 40,000 units. What is this 40,000? This is production during the year. Production of the year. So this is asked in your exam. What is production of the year? It is 40,000 units of entire year, right? Again, understanding it logically, what is your question? Your question is about finding out the production of finished goods, students, right? So what is the finished goods? How you can find it out? First of all, you will be having a certain opening stock during the year. When you start your again financial year, or you can say the calendar year, you have certain opening stock of finished goods. After that, you produce new units, right? So you add those units in there. After that, you do some sales, right, from that finished goods units. And at last, whatever you are having is closing stock. Now in this question, generally they have given closing stock, they have given sales, and they have given opening stock. So we need to find out this amount, right? If you do the total, this is also, the entire thing is known as cost of goods sold. I suppose it is clear to every student. This is asked for 2 marks. Remember, costing is a very scoring subject. If you know the concept, if you know the formulas, your marks will be again very much scored in your exam. I suppose it is clear to all the students. Fine, clear with these 2 sums. Fine, moving on, we'll be starting with the next sum, that is your third sum. The third sum is similar to the sum which we did just now only, right? Again, what is it all about? We'll be studying. The following details were obtained from the store department for the year 2017. Calculate closing stock, consumption of material, and material turnover rate, right? Similar thing to what we did just now. We will be starting with the sum. 3 things they have given students in your paper, that is opening stock, purchases, and average stock. They have asked also 3 things: closing stock, consumption of material, and material turnover rate. Fine. So we'll be starting with the sum very quickly. What is being asked in the sum? The very first I need to do is closing stock. So how can I find closing stock? From the information which is given. Always remember, when such type of missing sums are there, in that always start with the information which is given in the sum. So I'll be starting with the very first thing. This is my question number 3. What is given? Average stock is given. So what do you mean by average stock, students? Average stock is equals to, what is my average stock, students? Average stock is equals to opening stock plus closing stock, opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. This is my average stock. I suppose it is clear to every student. Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2 is my average stock. Average stock I have been already given in the sum, that is 30,000. So I'll put up in the formula 30,000 is equals to opening stock is also given 35,000 plus closing stock not knowing. So I'll put up x into 2. I suppose it is clear to every student. Now when I solve this x, this 2 will go here. So 60,000 minus 35,000, right? So I'll get the answer of x is equals to 25,000. So what is my closing stock? The very first answer that they have told me, I have found it out. So closing stock is 25,000 rupees. Closing stock is equals to 25,000 rupees. I hope it is visible to every student. Closing stock is 25,000 rupees. This is the first answer which they have asked. Okay. Now moving on to the second answer. What is second answer? Now you are having all the information for finding out consumption of material. Do remember the formulas with each and every sum. What is consumption of material? I'll write down. Consumption of material is equals to, remember the formula, opening stock, whatever we did in the last sum, plus purchases less closing stock. Opening stock plus purchases less closing stock. In this sum you are now having all the information, students. So opening stock is 35,000, purchases also I am knowing 95,000, less closing stock just now we found it out 25,000. So 35,000 plus 95,000 gives me 1,30,000 minus 25,000. So I'll get is 1,05,000. That is my consumption of material, right? That is what we have found out. This is your second answer, students, right? Again I can write rupees, don't forget to write down the units in that. So consumption of material is 1,05,000 rupees. Is it clear? We'll be finding out the third thing which is asked in your sum. The third thing, that is your material turnover rate, right? Now students, what do you mean by material turnover rate? There is a formula, cost of goods sold, or you can say consumption of material divided by average stock. Cost of goods sold, already you are having 1,05,000 divided by average stock, already given in the sum, 30,000. So what I'll get is the answer of 3.5 times, right? So what is your material turnover rate? It is 3.5 times. What do you mean by 3.5 times, students? Your material is again turned over during the entire year for 3.5 times, right? Continuously. I suppose it is clear. A sum for 3 marks, 1 mark each, right? You can find it out. So we have learned till now 3 types of sums. One was related to EOQ, the formula based. Second is related to your opening stock, closing stock. You need to find out one missing thing. And the third is your related to your average stock, material turnover and consumption of material. I suppose it is clear to every student. Same type of short sums will be there. You need to just remember the typology and then we'll be completing the sum. I suppose it is clear to every student. Now the long sum which I have provided you the question with, will be starting with that long sum. I suppose you all are having the formulas with you, whatever I have made you write in the last lecture. Fine, we'll be starting with that sum. Just go through the formula, students. What is it all about? Again, this is VNSGU 2018 which we are solving. Okay, shall we start? Fine. What has been said in the sum Usage of material per day, it is 400 to 1600 units. Reorder period is 3 to 5 days. EOQ is 90% of the reorder level, right? So only they have given you 4 information. On the basis of this 4 information, you need to find out the 5 things. Reorder level, minimum level, maximum level, average level, that is also on the basis of EOQ, and safety level, right? So we'll be starting now. Students, keep in mind, whenever you start with the sum, always first you need to find out the basic we can say particulars we need for solving the sum, right? So we'll be starting, as it is the first sum, first long sum. Just keep in mind how we are going it. Every sum you need to follow the same pattern. So from this information I can make out that my maximum consumption, first of all the particulars you need for the sum, minimum consumption I can say is 400 units. This is per day data given, students. Minimum consumption is 400 units. Maximum consumption I can say is given, that is 1600 units. Okay, so they have given 400 to 1600, I can divide it. Then again, reorder period 3 to 5 days. So I can say minimum time for ordering is 3 days. Again, maximum time for ordering is 5 days. Maximum time for ordering is 5 days, right? So I can make out this following information from the question. Again, for the formula I require average time and average consumption, right? So I'll find out average time and average consumption also, then we can easily start with the formulas in the sum, right? So average consumption, first we will find out what is average consumption, students. It is minimum plus maximum divided by 2. So what is my minimum? 400. What is my maximum? 1600 divided by 2. It gives me the answer of 1000 units, right? What is this 1000 units? This is my average consumption. This will be helpful somewhere to me in the formulas. So always make a habit of keeping the particulars or the data ready with you. Now the next thing is to find out again average time. Average time is equals to minimum time, same formula, but it will be time. Minimum 3 days plus maximum 5 days divided by 2. So it gives me the answer of 4 days. That is my average time. I suppose it is clear to everyone. Fine. So what we have done is we have found out this 4 particulars. To keep my sum ready, I will use this in formulas. Is it clear to every student? Fine. I suppose you all are writing along with me so that it is clear to you all. Fine. We'll be starting with the actual sum. What they have asked. The very first thing they have asked is your reordering level, right? So remembering the formula is very much important. Number 1, we'll be starting reordering level. Reordering level is equals to, you must be remembering the formula. What is it? Maximum consumption. In short, remember max, right? Reordering level is equals to maximum consumption into maximum time. Maximum consumption into maximum time. What is maximum consumption? I can find out is 1600 units. So 1600 into maximum time is 5 days. So maximum time is 5 days. Gives me the answer of 8000 units, right? You need to be very much clear with the formulas, then you can easily solve the sum, right? What is reordering level? Reordering level is max, that is maximum consumption into maximum time. Is it clear, everyone? We'll be starting with the second point which is asked in the sum. What is the second point? Second is your finding out minimum level. In exam it is compulsory to write down the formulas. Minimum level. What is my minimum level? If you know the formula, minimum level gives me reordering level minus average consumption into average time. Reordering level minus average consumption into average time. That's why I tell you always find out the particular first, then you can solve the sum very easily. Fine. So what is my reordering level? Reordering level in the previous equation only we found out 8000 minus average consumption is 1000 units into average time, that is 4 days, right? So 8000 minus 4000 gives me the answer of 4000 units. Don't forget to write down the units, right? So 4000 units is my minimum level which is asked again in the sum. Fine. So this is the answer number 1. This is the answer number 2. I suppose it is clear to everyone. Fine. Now starting with the third thing which is asked, that is maximum level, right? So writing down maximum level, what is the formula for maximum level, students? Maximum level is equals to reordering level minus minimum consumption into minimum time plus EOQ, right? So write down maximum level is equals to reordering level minus minimum consumption into minimum time plus EOQ, that is economic ordering quantity. Now we have found out everything, students. Every particular is there with us, but EOQ we are not having, right? So we can find out EOQ. EOQ, there is one information given in the sum that EOQ is 90% of reordering level, right? So what is 90% of reordering level? That is 8000 into 90% gives me the value of EOQ. So I'm not separately finding it out. I will just write down in the formula itself. So what is my reordering level? My reordering level is 8000 minus minimum consumption 400 into minimum time, that is 3 days, right? I suppose it is clear to everyone, plus EOQ. EOQ, how you can find out? EOQ is 90% of reordering level. So 8000 into 90%. I suppose it is clear to everyone. Now when you solve this out, 8000 minus 1200 plus 7200, right? So students, you will get the answer of 14,000 units. 14,000 units. That is my answer of maximum level. I suppose it is clear to each and every student. Fine. You can check your answers. You can note it down if you have not yet noted it down. Fine. We have found out the three things till now: reordering level, minimum level, and maximum level. Fine. I suppose it is clear to each and every student. Moving on to the next part of the sum, that is average level, right? So we're finding out average level. What is average level generally, right? But here in this sum, average level is to be calculated on the basis of EOQ, students, right? So what is the formula for average level on the basis of EOQ? Note it down. Average level is equals to minimum level plus half EOQ, right? Minimum level plus half EOQ. It is the first sum. So again, you can remember the formulas. Once you have the list of formulas ready with you, remembering it, the sum is very easy, right? You just need to put up the particulars which is given in the sum and your sum is solved. Fine. So what is minimum level, students? Minimum level, just now we found it out, that is 4000. The answer of your second equation. 4000 units plus half EOQ again we found it out, 90% of 8000, that is 7200. If I found out, then it is 4000 plus 3600 gives me the answer of 7600 units, right? This is my average level which is required. Generally minimum level plus maximum level divided by 2 is also average level, but on the basis of EOQ very specifically it is given in the sum. That is why I need to find it out. Fine. And the last thing is given in the sum, that is safety level. Safety level. What is the formula of safety level, students? If you remember, it is maximum consumption into maximum time minus average time, right? It is maximum time minus average time, right? Again, you need to practice this sum with the formula so that it is very much easy for you. Putting up the particulars, what is my maximum consumption? We have found out 1600 units. Maximum time is 5 days minus average time, that is 4 days. And suppose it is clear, right? Average time is 4 days and maximum time is 5 days. So when I solve this, 1600 into 1 gives me the same answer of 1600 units. So what is my safety level? Safety level is 1600 units. We had discussed the importance of each level in detail in the first and the second lecture of this chapter. This is 4 and this is 5. I suppose it is clear to every student. Fine. So what we have done is, we have calculated the reordering level, minimum level, maximum level, average level and safety level on the basis of particulars. Fine. Again, remember students, whenever you are solving this long sums of material, first of all make a habit of finding out the particulars, minimum consumption, minimum time, maximum time, average time and average consumption. Then EOQ if necessary. Then your sum will go very smoothly. Now I suppose each and everyone is clear with that part. Again, practice your sums at your home once again. Once we complete the lecture, try on your own. Any doubts, any queries, you can put it in Google Classroom. I suppose it is enough for today's lecture. The sums I have already provided in Google Classroom. Again, if any query, you can put it down. Fine. Thank you for your attention, students. Have a nice day ahead. This is Professor Shaurya teaching you Advanced Accounting and Auditing Paper 1, that is Costing. See you in the next lecture.